West. And again, this is Johnny Greene Jr. here from the Great Northwest. I am a international executive with the company GS Partners. We are going to give you a description and presentation about the new success certificates. We are coming to you live from the Zoom room. So if you actually can hear me, put a 1 in the chat. If anyone can hear me, please type a 1 in the chat. Thank you very much. Now, folks, thank you, Mr. Greg Tehoff from Canada. If you could actually do me a favor for the guests that are here so you can see that this is a global business. If you can actually type where you are zooming and dialing in from so everyone can actually see who you are and where you are dialing in from, because we've got a lot of people that's logging in, wanting to find out what this new success series look like, what we're going to talk about in reference to the bank. We have our good, I guess you can call him, he's a conductor. The conductor is Mr. Charles White. He is going to conduct us on the banks, how the banks work, what the banks are doing to literally deplete us of any savings for our family, and how we can be saved from that with these success series certificates. It's on the blockchain, folks. This is congruent with GS Partners. GS Partners is a fintech company. We actually have a lot of success and have had a lot of success in these past 2.5 years. So if you are new here, you definitely put an N in the chat. If you're new, put an N in the chat. We want to know if we have any new people here, because the business is for the new people. And we definitely want to make sure. Thank you for putting that in the chat. I see we have a few people. Ms. Franklin, thank you. Anyone that's new here, you're in a big experience. This is going to be a treat for you. So with no further ado, we have an international executive. What that means, he's helped a lot of people save a lot of money. Mr. Stephn McNeal is going to do a presentation in reference to where the world has come from, because without knowing the past, we'll never know what the future looks like. So we're going to do a kind of a time lapse. We're going to go back in time a little bit, and he's going to explain how this blockchain and how this evolution of our country is demanding us and the currency of the world to change today. So with no further ado, my good friend and sponsor, who hails from the great state of Chicago, Illinois, he actually lives in Washington with myself. He is my sponsor. He's been married 37 years. He actually has 6 children, 6 grandchildren, 1 on the way. He's a youth pastor. He believes in faith. I'm not pushing anybody on faith in your personal life, but we all believe that at some point we all have to answer to somebody. So that person to me is God himself. So with no further ado, my good friend and brother who thinks the same, which is wealth. We believe the same, which is God, and we do the same work, which is GS Partners. I'll introduce to some and present to others my good friend and sponsor, Mr. Stephn McNeal. Sir, if you can now have the mic, the floor is yours. And while he's trying to get on, he might have a technical difficulty, so I'll go ahead and keep talking while he comes on. For the ones that are here for the first time again, I seen a few news. There's also going to be a recording about this. If you're not a part of the Telegram group, on a public announcement, this is going to be a public announcement. We have a Telegram group. There's a few Telegram groups, but the one specifically you're going to be a part of is WBG. And usually Miss Tannisha Galispie, if available, she can certainly give us that information. So with no further ado, I'll yield the mic to Mr. Stephn McNeal.
Good evening, Mr. Greene and family. I don't know if you can see my screen.
Yes, sir.
You can't see it. Okay, perfect.
Mr. McNeal, you have an echo.
Let me make sure I can get this right.
You'll want to mute one of your devices.
Okay. All righty, can you hear me okay?
We still hear that echo.
You got the echo? Let me just get out of this thing. How about now, Tannisha?
Much better.
Okay, great. Sorry about that, family. So without further ado, let me go ahead and share my screen here. I want to share a few things that has gotten everybody's attention, of course, right? And how we kind of arrived at this place and this whole space of technology and innovation as we see our world really, really moving into this whole innovative space. All things blockchain technology is just doing some great things, and we get a chance to benefit from that in a major, major way. And so one of the things that got my attention is years ago when I got exposed to this space of cryptocurrency and the blockchain, it made no sense to me at all. And in fact, I didn't get involved in 2009. It made zero sense at all. And then about 2011, I had another friend reached out to me that said, Stephn, the future money's here. Have you heard of Bitcoin? I said, I have. He asked how much I had gotten, and I said I hadn't gotten any. And he proceeded to tell me a little bit more. I asked him two questions. One of the questions was, who's the founder? And he said the name of Satoshi Nakamoto. And I said, well, okay. So has anybody ever met him? He said, no one's ever met him. I said, what about the corporate headquarters? I can see that, but give me the corporate headquarters. We can do some research. I got some friends that can look up some things for me too. And he said, Stephn, there's no corporate headquarters. Everything is online. Only things on the blockchain. I was like, really? No corporate headquarters. Nobody's met the founder. You say it's the future of money. What about it being backed by some government and their army or precious metals? He's none of the above. So I didn't get involved, needless to say, because it made no sense to me. I told him I wasn't going to let him beat me, and I didn't get involved. And so I prayed for a way to be able to share this opportunity, this picture with other people. Literally 10 years later, in 2019, when my mentor, Dr. Best, gave me a call and said, the future money is here. Have you heard of Bitcoin, Steph? Of course I did. And he said, let's go. And that's what I did. I did research later. And then it occurred to me, there's got to be a better way to break the attention, to get people's attention. And so they're not feeling like they're being sold, but they understand this whole thing of economies of time when there's a paradigm shift in the marketplace and things come about, new innovations that happen that change the way we do life. And so, and God gave me this whole piece right here. So if you've been on here for 100 times, you've heard this 100 times. Why? 95% of the world has not have not got involved. Some haven't even heard of blockchain. If they heard about it, they stayed away. Or this whole thing regarding cryptocurrency. So only 5%. You that have logged on today, you're one of that 5% of the global population that's adopted this space, meaning there's an opportunity of scale that's unprecedented. That means we have a tremendous opportunity to share this with people all around the world where they can get involved and at a really early stage in this continual growth in this space and do something really significant for their families. And that's what we've done. And that's what we encourage everyone to do, is to really look at this with open arms, because it's happening in real time right before us. And we flat out are in love with this space. And so this whole idea of the economy of time came about as we look at technology making moves. We look at innovation, and we look at these economies of time or these paradigm shifts in the marketplace that change the way we do life. We look at some of these companies that came about in Web 1.0. Some of us remember or grew up when we didn't have the internet. Some of us remember and grew up when we didn't have computers or smartphones, cell phones, etc. And so you understand what this means when I talk about economies of time and this paradigm shifts that happen in innovation. These companies in Web 1.0, Yahoo, Google, MSN, Explorer, they never existed before 20, 30 years ago. And now they're iconic brands in the global marketplace, and everybody uses them, or most people. Web 2.0, 2.0, same thing. You see this innovation happening where IG, Instagram pops up, Facebook, Messenger, Amazon Web Services, all these things, Uber, changed the way we do life, right? Totally impacted us. We get a chance to participate in this new technology. The first one, Web 1.0, was all kind of read-only, static, right? We didn't have all the fun things you have now. And now you have Web 2.0, and we move to Web 3.0, where we see major changes happening. We're moving fast toward Web 1.0. And one of the things that we see is that I wanted to share and pivot for a second to kind of give you an idea of with all those technologies that have happened, some of the things that some of these companies that have, came to the scene that changed the way we do life, they didn't hit it out of the ballpark on their first swing. In some cases, here are 5 successful companies that didn't make a dollar for 5 years because of, innovation happening and global adoption, and they didn't make it happen initially. And it really, some of these companies have changed the way we've done life. And it's been amazing to watch this thing happen right before our eyes when we see these companies that have hit the scene and changed everything, whether it was FedEx, whether it was Microsoft, whether it was Uber. I mean, some of these companies have changed the way we've done everything, and it's moved in a major, major way. We look at this picture right here, and I want to show this because it's really interesting. When I think about innovation, we look at in 1994, I use this example a lot, talk about Amazon as an example a lot. Well, they really didn't make any profit for 10 years. It's an iconic brand. 10 years before they made a profit. And they were selling books. And then they innovated and they made some changes in their marketing and adopted to a growing marketplace when it comes to technology. And they started selling everything, totally transformed. So you look at where they started, a little building in Tacoma, Washington, less than 30 minutes from me now, is where they started, into where they are now, a global giant in Seattle, one of the largest corporate headquarters on the planet. It's a campus like a college, and they're doing some great things. So you look at this picture of him in 1998, and you see this, I say this respectfully, a scrawny individual just kind of trying to chase a dream. And now he's grown up. 2017, this picture of, you look at this cat now, you see him 2023, he's physically he has great posture. And, you can read that caption at the bottom. He says, I sell books in 1998. Now I sell whatever the blank I want, right? He's a giant. The reason why I wanted to show the slide, because I wanted to share, this is what I believe about GS Partners. They've been profitable, and they've had some things happen that have changed where we had to make some changes. And they lived and they survived through them. And if anybody wants a slide I just didn't show, because I didn't want to spend a lot of time reading that stuff off, these 5 companies, some 5-10 years, but they're iconic brands today. And a lot of people sold that stock. They got rid of their holdings. It wasn't going to be worth anything. It wasn't going to make any sense. And so they got away from that, and they got away completely and missed out on opportunity because things didn't go right. And I understand that, but I want to share a couple other stories as well. One is about Nokia. I'm going to begin with that one. They refused Android, and they had the first opportunity with Android, kind of like what Samsung had with the digital technology with the camera. Yahoo refused Google. They said no. What's the lesson behind that? You got to take risks, number 1. 2, you got to embrace changes. 3, if you refuse to change with time, you might perish. You might not make it. Think about Blockbuster. They used to be all over every block in every in every city, rather, no matter what country, particularly North America. There's Blockbusters everywhere. They didn't adapt to the new technology. And now they're just a footnote in history. Another story, Facebook. They took over WhatsApp. They took over Instagram, IG. Grab is another company, took over Uber. Again, companies taking risks, seeing technology make a swing, and they got involved. So the lesson becomes so powerful that your competitors become your allies. They got bought out. I believe GS Partners with Mr. Joseph Haidt, a multi-billionaire, very successful, is positioning us to do great things, not settling for the now. That may have upset me, and it did. But I get it from a corporate standpoint, and I'm thinking about it even more now. Number 2, to reach the top position and then eliminate your competition. We have none now. Remember, we're a unicorn. We're still innovating. They're still figuring things out. Some people just aren't going to like it, right? Because it took other companies 5 years, some 10 years to make a profit. They sold their stock. Jack You got to keep, innovating. Couple more stories. Colonel Sanders, he founded KFC at the age of 65. Jack Ma, the owner of Alibaba, couldn't get a job at KFC. He couldn't get a job. In fact, they didn't make a profit for their first 3 years either. The lesson, age is just a number. It's never too late to turn it, to try again. Some of us have had some things happen and we're in our 60s. Some of you are in your 70s, some in your late 50s. We're thinking there's no tomorrow. I was banking on all this stuff to be right, perfect. Well, unfortunately, it's not right. It's not perfect. Lesson number 2, only those who keep trying succeed. Don't give up. Don't throw in the towel. The light, there's light at the end of this dark tunnel. As a matter of fact, it's bright. It's very, very bright. It ain't really that dark, but it can be for some. Last but not least, Lamborghini was founded as a result of a revenge because of a tractor company owner was insulted by Easy Ferrari, the founder of Ferrari. The lesson, never underestimate anyone ever. Now, some of us may have, issues how things have been communicated. And I'm one of those guys. I got both hands raised and 10 toes down. I'm in that number. But I've had a chance to think it through. And I started looking at history to give me a benchmark, not my emotions. And I realized there's hundreds of thousands of people went through the same nonsense we just went through. I just went through. I simply have to make a decision. I got 2 choices. Lock in, understand what's happening from a corporate standpoint, or get caught up in my emotions and say, I'm done with it. Either one is okay. It's you and your family. And number 2, success can be the best revenge. Those that told you it was stupid to get involved with that company in the first place, I knew it was a scam, don't get involved in it. I'm not into revenge. I'm not in, I told you so. I just keep rolling. So a couple of things I want to say from my heart. Just keep working hard, invest your time wisely, and don't be afraid to fail. We have tremendous, absolute tremendous leadership with Mr. Michael Delco. I heard some stuff from this cat in the last few days that have just really ingratiated and drawn me even closer to that guy, because he's able to, move from emotion to get serious professionally and talk corporate stuff. And then he has a philanthropic heart. The dude is tremendous. Apart from what's happened about corporate, I understand the corporate side of it now. I was on a call this morning with a multi-millionaire who was in this program, and what he was doing for his employees, how disappointed he was 3 days ago. And after he's done his homework and looked at this, was on the phone with another one of his multi-millionaire business owners from another country. And the business owner told him, look, we were worried about this company when we did our homework. Everything was just too good to be true. He said, because of what has just happened, we believe in this company more now than ever. He says, because we have liquidity, we have issues with liquidity all the time, and we have to figure it out. He says, acting like a company that can do great things. So what do we need to do to get started? Now, that blew my mind. That was less than 12 hours ago. Blew my mind. So I'm telling you, you have some choices. I deviated completely from the slides I was going to share, because I wanted people to understand what has happened to us is in my mind a blessing for sustainability, not just making a bunch of money for a year, then all of a sudden we got to figure something out. I've been looking, ain't nothing out there close to this to help me make the money I need to make to leave a legacy for my family and friends. And this is phenomenal. So I want to introduce our next speaker. This guy is absolutely off the charts. Y'all all know him. He's phenomenal, coming from the banking world and top level executive for major insurance companies all around the Midwest. He's led teams of 80, 70,000 different managers from around our country. He's a graduate of the University of Chicago, University of Virginia. He's just got a resume that's off the charts, but his heart, I had breakfast with him this weekend in Dallas. I'm back home in Seattle now. And I know Johnny had dinner with he and Gail on that Friday night possible, I think it was. And he's just a real deal. And I learned a lot from him in the last couple of days on the Zoom as well and on phone calls. So without further ado, I want to introduce Mr. Charles White. The mic is yours, sir.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. It is good to be here. I get this feeling every time I go to church, as I say, it's good to be here. So this is not church. This is a family and community gathering. And so we want everyone to be comfortable here. And I'm going to do a presentation on the success certificates. And I want to talk about some of the banking things that are happening in our world of banking, just to give you a little, to shed a little light on some of those things. Many of you who are not first timers have heard this before, but we try to keep this forum open as a place that you can bring your guests so they can hear that everything that they see is not the way it should be. So let me share my screen. I'm going to pull up my little presentation and press my button for sharing the sound. I'm getting a little echo too. Miss Galispie, I don't know what to do about that. I'm going to turn my volume down some. Maybe it won't reverberate. I want to tell you who we are. This is Gail White. She's an executive with Gold Standard Partners, which is the marketing arm of Gold Standard Bank. My name is Charles White. And for once, Miss Galispie, I'm not putting up an old picture. This is a new picture. We recently had these pictures made. I'm a continental executive with Gold Standard Partners. And my wife is a certified training manager, certified life coach, money empowerment speaker, and blog writer. And I am a former registered securities principal, executive in banking, insurance, and securities, chartered retirement planning counselor, certified financial education instructor, and a proud member of Wealth Builders Global and GSP, Gold Standard Partners. So that's our Financial Education Council banner there. We've taken a course of study to allow us to deliver financial education. I'd also like to introduce our sponsors, and I'm going to honor these two people. These are extraordinary human beings. They have done so much for this community. They've done so much for me and my family that I wanted to just stop and honor them today. Dr. David and Dr. Rhonda Otlins, commonly known as those two doctors. And before I go any further, I want to ask Dr. Rhonda, I saw her on here a minute ago, to unmute and just say hello to everyone. She's a Maxwell certified speaker and a scholar. So she's extraordinary. Dr. Rhonda, are you there? You still there? You got a minute?
Yes, sir, Mr. White. Thank you so much for that. I was looking for my heart to say I appreciate you and Gail and what you bring to this community. And we're just honored to be here and be a part. We are all in this great community together and doing everything that we can to support each other. So thank you so much for what you're doing. And hello to all the family out there. Back to you.
Awesome. Thank you, Dr. Rhonda. I wanted to do that because honor is the language of the kingdom. If you don't hear me say anything else tonight, honor is the language of the kingdom. Now, some of you on here may not agree with me, but I want to honor Joseph Haidt. I want to honor Dirk Zolman. I want to honor Bruce Hughes. And there's a whole bunch of other visible leaders. In a lot of programs, you can't see the leaders. You can't find them. They're hiding behind a website. They're hiding behind everybody in this community is visible. Why is that? We put our fortunes, our reputations on the line because we believe in this company, in this project. So let me move forward.
Once upon a time, business as usual was often good enough. No more. Where we are going, good enough is dead. In a world where everything is connected, where everything is equally excellent, where performance is reaching perfection, there's only one space left to innovate in: you. Right now, you are a central point in the raging tornado of change fueled by digitization, mobilization, augmentation, disintermediation, automation. Well, the list goes on. Science fiction is becoming science fact. Think about self-driving cars or computers that can learn and think. The way we work will never be the same. The skills we need will be dramatically different. Winning or losing are now happening faster than ever before. So what's your response? How will you discover new opportunities in one of the most transformational times in human history? Are you driving change, or are you being driven by it? Disruption has become the new normal. With change, it's always gradually, then suddenly, well, things really have stopped happening gradually. This change is exponential. Everything that used to be dumb and disconnected is now wired and intelligent. Cars, cities, ports, farms, even our bodies will be wired with sensors and will talk to each other. These game changers are also combinatorial. They amplify each other, creating a perfect storm of change. Quantum computing fuels big data. The Internet of Things fuels artificial intelligence and deep learning, which fuels robotics. However, anything that cannot be digitized or automated will become extremely valuable. Human-only traits such as creativity, imagination, intuition, emotion, and ethics will be even more important in the future, because machines are very good at simulating, but not at being. Yes, robots and software will do some of our work, but this will allow us to focus on things that cannot be automated. To imagine change squared, you've got to start engaging more with what might be, not just with what is. Immerse yourself in the immediate future, 5 to 7 years out from today. We need to go beyond technology and data to reach human insights and wisdom. Technology represents the how of change, but humans represent the why. The future is about holistic business model. The opportunity is to be liquid, to learn just in time, not just in case, not single improvements, but complete transformations, not individual systems, but new ecosystems. Humanity is where true and lasting value is created. We will engage, relate, and buy things because of the experiences they provide, because of their transformative power. The future doesn't just happen. The future gets happened. The new way to work is to embrace technology, but not to become it. The future is in technology, yet the bigger future lies in transcending it. Let's live and lead from here.
Let's get started with our banking discussion. Do you recognize this man? It's Thomas Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson is a spokesman for democracy. He was an American founding father, the principal author of the Declaration of Independence in 1776, and the third president of the United States from 1801 to 1809. I also have to confess that I believe he was a prophet. If the here's what he said on banking: if the American people ever allow private banks to control the issue of their currency, first by inflation, then by deflation, The banks and corporations that grow up around them will deprive the people of all property until their children wake up homeless on the continent their fathers conquered. So let's talk about the progression of money in the U.S. The Federal Reserve Act was passed by the 63rd Congress and signed into law by Woodrow Wilson on December 23rd of 1913. So the law created the Federal Reserve System, the central banking system of the United States, and along with a new tax code heavily favoring the wealthy and big business. See, you thought that tax code was written for you. It was, so that you can pay all the taxes. The Federal Reserve Act gave control of monetary policy in the United States to a private bank, the deceptively named Federal Reserve Bank. Let's talk about the gold standard. In 1933, the United States operated on a gold standard. The US dollar was pegged to gold at $20 per ounce. If you had $20, you could trade it in for an ounce of gold. So following Britain's lead, President Franklin Roosevelt, that's the guy there, a world hero. He's not a United States hero. He's a world hero. Took the U.S. off the gold standard. Next, by executive order, he called for all the gold in the U.S. to be delivered to the Federal Reserve Bank at $20 per ounce. Then he passed a law in Congress to raise the price of gold to $35 per ounce, allowing the Federal Reserve to print more money. We've been doing that since then. This guy is James Errol Carter, the 39th POTUS. POTUS means President of the United States. In 1978, Congress approved the Revenue Act of 78, which allowed for 401k plans. Many of you here have a 401k plan. This act was implemented in the spirit of government giving employees options for retirement outside of the standard pension plan. This act was the beginning of the end of pensions, as U.S. corporations in reality had been lobbying Congress to shut down their pension plans because they were too expensive to administer. They wanted to get rid of that risk. They wanted to dump it on somebody else. Guess who they dumped it on? Corporate America wanted a way to reduce costs and transfer the risk from the company onto the employee. And so they sold us a bill of goods. So let's talk about the difficulties with employee-directed plans. The number one difficulty is they're subject to market fluctuations. Lots of things are subject to market fluctuations. We've just had some market fluctuations here in our company. No income strategy. And then they're limited by your mindset and your money management acumen. In other words, we went from a system where they had professional money managers to a system where you have to decide, you have to make a decision about where to put your money, how much to put in, what to do with it when you get it out. So you go through and you work 40 years and you end up with a lump sum of money. And so you have to fend off all of your friends and relatives who want to spend your money, your retirement dollars, who think it ought to be available to them to fund their projects. Don't do it. Don't do it. Let them go to a financial institution and get evaluated. See, your money management acumen may not permit you to understand what that's all about. So I'm just telling you, don't do it. It's your money. You work for it. You probably need to keep it in your account. Okay. The question then becomes, have you seen any homeless people? Perhaps Mr. Joseph was right. This is a picture of downtown Los Angeles. So if you're in LA, you can find that street there. All right. So many of you are saying, why am I here? The opportunity is bigger than you think. I know you have questions. Like someone invited you to take a look, right? Is my money guaranteed by FDIC and the Federal Reserve Act? No, because we're not a U.S. bank. Okay. Why are we doing this? I am doing this because I feel compelled to talk about the state of banking. We're in a very different place than we were 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 35 years ago, 40 years ago when I started in banking, 45 years ago when I started in banking. That and the security of our money has changed significantly. And we need to know. There's some things we need to know. Who is doing this? I showed you a picture of my wife and I. earlier, Gail and Charles White. Who are we? We're certified financial educators with extensive financial services backgrounds. That's who we are. And so every time Mr. McNeal introduces me, I get a promotion. I didn't manage 30,000 advisors, only managed 20,000. So thank you, Mr. McNeal. I love getting promotions. Why are we doing this? Centralized banking under government control started in the 1700s. 1913 Federal Reserve Act kind of pulled everything together. The law created the central banking system. The banking system was backed by gold until 1971. Okay, under the central banking system, interest rates at your bank average rate of return is 0.01% to 5% APY. That APY, I always figure out what the initials mean or the acronym is. It's annual percentage yield. If you pull out your bank statement, which I'm going to challenge every one of you folks on here, not just you new people, but those who've been here for a while and who've come to this meeting a few times, look at your bank statement. Look at your bank statement to see what kind of connection you and your bank have together. They don't want you to look at your bank statement. They don't want you to look at your bank statement because they don't want you to see what they're doing to you. So the average savings bank interest rates at traditional U.S. banks, here's some traditional U.S. banks. How about Bank of America? They're paying 0.03% on savings. Wells Fargo, 0.01% on savings. Citibank, 0.08% on savings. Chase, which is the largest bank in the world, 0.01% on savings. 0.01%. HSBC, 0.06. U.S. Bank, 0.01. We just talked about the five in this group, this first grouping here, 5 largest banks in the United States. SunTrust, which is now Truist. I need to change this slide. Truist, because they have a new, they merged SunTrust and, who they merged with? But they came out to be Truist. BB&T. SunTrust and BB&T merged together and became Truist. PNC Bank, 0.01%. Huntington National, 0.02%. TD Bank, 0.03%. Here's Capital One, way up here. But I want you to take your calculator and see what 0.40%. When you do 0.40, hit the percent key afterwards, which will add some more zeros in front of that 4. So to see what they're really, really paying. It sounds good, but compared to these, it is good. But thank you, not so much. How's your bank doing so far? The rule of 72 is the interest divided by 72 equals 72. So how long it takes to double your money. So if you take this interest rate here at 0.01%, the answer is 720,000 years. What if there was a better way? Would you want to at least know about it, right? So here is an average savings bank interest rates at traditional U.S. banks, 2022 savings summary. This is an actual savings statement savings from savings report from this bank right here. That one right there. I need to go backwards. There we go. From that bank right there. The person had a beginning balance of $8,350.16. I didn't say go back that far. Come on. Me and my computer. We're fighting tonight. Deposits and additions, 2,650. Electronic withdrawals, 6,000. Well, what is an electronic withdrawals? That's when you take money, you got your savings account, and you transfer it to your checking account. That's an electronic withdrawal. Ending balance, $5,000.19. Annual percentage yield earned this period is 0.01%. This is what we're indicating on the chart below. And the interest paid this period, look at that, a whopping 3 cents. Whopping 3 cents. Like I said, check your bank statement, your savings and your checking account statements. And then the interest paid year to date, 45 cents. That is awesome. Okay, let's go further. The Federal Reserve Bank Deposit Act of 2020. So banking is evolving, just like our project is evolving. We're in beta. Our project is still beta. They are paying us handsomely to test these products, to get in first, to get ahead of the game. They're paying us handsomely to do that. So I want to commend them for that, because just to say, come on, get in, and you don't get anything in return, that ain't so good. But I like this system because I like getting paid handsomely to test stuff. That's a good thing, except unless it's like some drugs or something. I don't want to test anybody's drug or be a guinea pig that way, a real guinea pig where they're sticking needles in you. So FedNow, we're going to talk about FedNow. It's new government technology to do money transfer systems starting on July 27th of 2023. Guess what? That date has already passed, and this system has been enacted. This will be a new app on your phone. You're already using electronic currency like Cash App or Zelle. You will be relying on the Federal Reserve for money transfers. Okay, it's already started. The system is up and running, and baby, is it running. So the next step, so FedNow, what next? The central bank digital currency it's a government, they call it a government-owned monopoly, but the government is going to issue digital currency. If they can get, they have a lot of opposition now. People started talking about it and thinking about how there's 59 million people that don't, 56 million people that rely on cash and don't even have a bank account. And so that's going to be an issue for them. A lot of people. So CBD versus FedNow, House Bill 14067. CBDC is still being developed. MIT has a contract to do the development. So they're going to get it worked out. They probably have it worked out now, but it's just not, it's not a good time yet. They're going to wait till the right time to introduce it, where you're going to beg them to give you some CBDC.
The Federal Reserve might want to fix your wallet by turning it from this into this. Though your wallet is still designed for dollar bills, Americans have been using cash to buy things less and less over the years. That's part of why the Fed is considering digitizing the US dollar, giving people money they can access on their phone and bypassing electronic payments that can be slow and costly for businesses. Some see this as a necessary upgrade to the US financial system, but others worry it could potentially upend commercial banking.
There are some very, very difficult questions to answer, but I think we are engaged in a serious program to understand both the technology and the policy issues.
A central bank digital currency, or CBDC, is exactly what it sounds like, a purely digital form of a country's money issued by its central bank that people can use just like cash. It's true that cards and apps already allow for electronic payment, but behind the scenes, these financial transactions involve several steps, settling payments over a patchwork of systems.
The plumbing of the system is still based on a cash system.
Josh Lipsky is the director of the Atlantic Council's Geoeconomic Center and says the US financial system is still pretty old school when it comes to moving money around.
It's based on banks talking to banks saying, hey, I need you to transfer this to me. We've updated some of that over the years, but if you were to look back, a lot of it dates back to the 1950s and before, and that's not a great way to run a modern global economy.
After a debit card is swiped, the transaction can flow through several entities, including point-of-sale systems, payment networks like Visa and MasterCard, your bank, and the merchant's bank. This system can take up to 3 days to move money between accounts, and often comes with transaction fees that can weigh heavily on small businesses, who experts say may have to pass the cost onto customers or put restrictions on card usage. These extra costs can limit their revenues and customer base. CBDCs could bypass this system, allowing digital money to flow directly between two people, in the same way you hand over cash at the register. One method the Fed is considering is issuing digital wallets to Americans directly, or through commercial banks or other financial service providers. The digital dollars themselves would be no more than computer code, possibly stored on a central ledger at the Fed or on a distributed ledger like many cryptocurrencies. When you use your wallet to pay for something, the Fed would take the digital cash out of your wallet and deposit it into the merchants, simplifying the process and doing it without fees. These could be done through an app on a phone, or for those without smartphones, an SMS text message or debit card. Besides frictionless payments, A digital dollar could help the 8.4 million unbanked households who don't have a debit or credit card and can get left behind in a cashless world. For example, instead of mailing checks, the government could deposit your tax refund or stimulus payments directly into your Fed wallet, making the money available immediately. Proponents also say CBDCs offer a much more effective tool for central banks to enact monetary policy. Right now, the Fed influences interest rates across the entire economy by setting borrowing rates between banks, known as the federal funds rate. But this is often a fraught process that doesn't always produce the desired results.
The Fed sets this benchmark rate and other private banks are supposed to queue off it, and then your mortgage is supposed to queue off it. Does that really work? How much time does it take? And the answer that economists will tell you is it works, but there are probably more efficient ways to transfer monetary policy.
Economists believe that if the Federal Reserve were to assign interest rates to the money stored in digital wallets, it would be much more effective at influencing economic decision-making at the household level. According to a January survey, 60% of central banks around the world are currently experimenting with CBDCs. The Bahamas was the first country to release a digital currency, called the Sand Dollar, in October 2020. And China has been developing and testing a digital version of the yuan. But there are questions about how a digital currency would work in the US.
Legitimate digital public money could help drive out bogus digital private money. It could help improve financial inclusion, efficiency, and the safety of our financial system if that digital public money is well designed and efficiently executed, which are two very big ifs.
The recent rise of cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and private currencies like Facebook's Diem have spurred central banks to explore CBDCs in an effort to keep pace. Experts say these alternative currencies expose the risk of money and payments circulating outside the watchful eyes of central banks.
This is a blind spot for them, because when they're setting monetary policy, they like to know how much money is in circulation, broadly how that money is being used, and so that helps them understand the macroeconomics and the fundamentals of the economy at any given time.
But by keeping up with new competitors, CBDCs could threaten to leave traditional banking behind.
So if the Fed were to become a bank in a traditional sense and actually issue people money and hold people's money directly, then you might hold less money in your Bank of America app, and that would cut into their business model. So they have to think about how digital currencies affect their business.
Because of these issues, the Federal Reserve is still studying the scope and structure of how a digital dollar would work and how it could be integrated into the current banking system.
The Fed doesn't want to start dealing with 300 million customers overnight. They're not equipped to do that. So you don't want to call up the Fed at midnight and say, I forgot my password. This is not something the Fed wants to be doing or can do. So they need to think about who to work with to deliver digital dollars.
The Fed would also have to tackle privacy concerns over how anonymous digital dollar payments should be, and whether the money should be restricted to specific transactions or programmed to expire after a certain time period to encourage spending. It plans to release a discussion paper on the benefits and risks of a digital dollar this summer, and has said it wouldn't move forward without support from Congress. Many experts say the Fed will need to figure out a digital dollar to keep up with the pace of a rapidly changing global economy. What that looks like remains to be seen, but it could mean using this a lot less.
Why are we doing this? So decentralized banking based on blockchain technology started in 2008. DeFi started in 2018. DeFi is decentralized finance. Still looking into regulation. Is the FDIC insured? FDIC insures dollars. Our platform doesn't accept dollars. We only deal in cryptocurrency. Our transactions are secured by blockchain technology and smart contracts. Under decentralized banking, with our MetaVerse certificate, you could earn 5% to 22% weekly payback rewards on your deposit in crypto. That's right, 5% to 22% weekly. A digital dollar for CBDC could soon replace the US dollar. Most people could end up holding worthless dollars, but a few could get rich from this new shift.
He's gonna change your life.
We are one. Let's go.
GSB, your 10-year anniversary. We ready?
We have the card in our hand. I'm planning to develop way many more things in the Lydian world with my team. Thank you all for being here.
The founder, the chairman of the board, Jose!
You are the first, and our company will be the first. I'm pretty sure that many more institutions will use our technology.
You love it? I love it too. Thank you very much. Let's celebrate, baby. Thank you.
So let's, that was our 10th anniversary celebration back in May of 2023. I was there. It was really a very exciting time. Mr. Greene and Ms. Galispie and Mr. McNeal were there as well. And many of you there on this call were there. So let's go through the history of GSP. I'll just kind of hit the high points. It began in 2013. And when a group of visionaries, so I like to stop here, visionaries, people who can look out and see things changing and merge in and make good of that, okay? Set out to disrupt. They're also disruptors. So they're visionaries and disruptors. And they started out with the precious metal market. By 2014, GSP had invested significant funds to develop an ecosystem. 2015, the group then implemented blockchain technology. So here we are, we're moving into the blockchain. In 2017, preparations began to enable access to retail clients. In 2019, GSP gave the exclusive order to establish a regulated trust and management company in Sweden. 2020, those are big days for us. At the end of 2020, GSP Gold Standard Pay Limited also received accreditation from regulators to provide fintech services in Kazakhstan. They also, later that year, GSP developed new marketing platform, which is the one we use today. It's been modified a little bit. So remember, this company is evolving. They're evolving. They're paying us to test the systems because one day this system is going to be monstrous and there will be thousands of companies participating and using this technology. But they're paying us handsomely to test it now. I love it. In 2021, GSP continued to innovate with the development of the Lydian World platform, inspired by the ongoing evolution of the digital virtual world. In 2022, GSP introduced world-leading brokerage development and interaction through world-leading brokers and in regulated and non-regulated brokerage, so-called meta brokers. And that's what we're talking about today, the meta brokerage certificates. Most recently in 2023, GSP launched Swiss Valorum Bank, one of the few offshore banks with an included, integrated, and regulated exchange in Switzerland. So GSP is moving forward. You have to make the decision as to whether you want to move forward with us, okay? So where do we go from here? A disclaimer. This presentation is for the exclusive purpose of educating the community, members, and users of products. It's funny I have this disclaimer so far down in this presentation. We're almost done. So don't leave me now. Members of the community, users products of our products, services, and potential reward programs found on the GS Partners global platform, powered by Swiss Valorum Bank. Every effort has been made to accurately represent the GS Partners Rewards Plan and its income potential. This includes information pertaining to the Swiss Foreign Bank Limited online introducing partner program, granting access to the GSP global platform through API. All earnings or income examples will depend solely on the ideas, techniques, knowledge, skills, and time vested into your independent business. GS Partners Global, powered by Swiss Foreign Bank Limited, does not guarantee any results for any decisions you make in relationship to promoting our products or your business. All income examples shown in this presentation are not to be considered average earnings. We are not financial advisors. That's a big statement. Nor are we tax advisors, and we are not offering financial or tax advice. Swiss Foreign Bank Limited, as mentioned at GS Partners Global, powered by Swiss Foreign Bank, is the newest member of the GSB group with the A-class private banking license in the Adjoan Union of Comoros. Additionally, GS Partners Global, powered by Swiss Foreign Bank Limited, does not offer services involving the receiving. This is critical here, folks. Does not offer services involving the receiving of any fiat money from the customer and will not manage, lease, loan, or use any fiat assets such as the US dollar, the euro, the British pound, or any other legal currency in any processes of the services or products provided on the platform. You can also register with the Introducing Partner Program without any obligation to start distribution activities. GS Partners Global, powered by Swiss Foreign Bank, is not a trading platform and takes no liability for any trading losses, financial risks, or in general, any other investment risks that may occur by using the entity's software and blockchain solutions. I thought it was important that I read that whole thing today. GS Partners, the new digital era is here. I am so excited to talk about this because we're getting close to looking at those certificates. GS Partners Global connects corporations and communities to create real-world value solutions. So let's explore, earn, and have some fun. Come on. So the digital era is here. You know that symbol. That's Airbnb. It's the largest hotel chain in the world, and it doesn't have a hotel. Things are changing, folks. Uber, it's the largest car leasing company in the world, and it doesn't have a car. It doesn't own one car, not one single car. Look at that. Bitcoin, cryptocurrency. It's new. It's on the blockchain. The new digital era is here. Things are changing, and we have to either keep up or get left behind, get crushed. So let's have some fun. Put your money to work in a digital blockchain system and allow the professionals to return to you your rewards. I like that. So GS Partners Global uses a top-rated and industry-tested blockchain and AI technologies to create a safe and secure interconnected marketing hub. So here are the markets that we're dealing in. The crypto market, over 1 trillion. Renewable energy, 928 billion. The nutraceuticals, 328 billion. Online gaming, 138 billion. Here are the experts, multiple experts teaching and speaking weekly. These are the folks that are putting this stuff together for us, and they speak weekly. In fact, there's a meeting tomorrow morning at 9 Central. You can join it if you like. Even if you're new, if you haven't done a thing, you can join that meeting tomorrow morning. So the platform explanation, multiple companies and brands, GS Partners Global is used by major companies and brands to grow their market share and increase their user bases globally. So here are the certificates. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 certificates from the $150, 150 USDT, because we don't do dollars, 150 USDT RISE certificate to the 100,000 USDT victorious certificate. This is the success series of certificates. This is our 5th series, And in fact, I don't know whether it's true or not, but the last I looked this afternoon, the last series is still out there being sold. So if you didn't know that and you wanted to grab a Cape Town bonus certificate, you might be able to grab one. I'd go out there and take a look. Okay, how does it work? Let's look at the 1,000 USDT certificate. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sectors, blocks or block folios where you can load your deposit. So let's take a look and see how that works. 1,000 USDT deposit. It costs. This is the cost of it. Everything costs. You got to have a cost. And the second thing you got to know is you got to load it. So when you buy it, you have to load it. And you can fully load the main body of the certificate with 2,000 USDT. And once you load it, you activate 5% weekly on the price of the certificate for 52 weeks only. All right. Now you can compound. You have the option every week to compound that 5% back into the monthly load, or you can withdraw half of it. 1.5% monthly on the load for 18 months only. So you get 1.5%. The load was 2,000 USDT. So you get 1.5% per month on the load. And you get 10,000 USDT bonus. 10,000 USDT bonus value at the end of the 18 months contract period. So that's pretty outstanding. You're literally growing your money right before your eyes. This system, this fintech, is a fixed rate of return. The real estate, fixed rate of return. Renewables, fixed rate of return. Trade is not a fixed rate of return. It's not. They trade your funds on the Forex market every day. I don't have them listed up here yet, but they are active and working. The second thing you can do is to fully load the main load too, with an additional 4,000 USDT. You activate an additional 7% weekly on the purchase price. Again, you have the option to withdraw it or withdraw half of it, or to compound it. If you withdraw the 2, that's 12% divided by 2 is 6% per week that you can withdraw. And at the end, you generate another 20,000 USDT bonus. So if you do the main load and this load 1 and load 2, you're going to generate 30,000. Also, at the end of the term, bonuses and loads are released at the end of the term. You get your bonus and you get your load back. I think that's extraordinary. I'm totally excited about this. Totally stoked. Okay, the real estate works the same way, except that it's 30 months instead of 18 months. The renewables works the same way, except that it's 24 months instead of 18 months. Okay, everything else works the same. That's our product. At gspartners.global connects corporate and communities to create real world value solutions. Put your money to work in a digital blockchain system and allow the professionals to grow your crypto capital and return to you the rewards. And how do you start it? Register your account at GS Partners. Takes less than 2 minutes. There are member bonuses. You can do it as a customer or you can do it as a member. Members get privileges, just like everywhere else. You're a member, you get privileges. So simple, sustainable, and successful strategies. Step 1, register your account. Register a free GS Partners account using the referral link from your introducing member, the person who invited you here. Get back to the person that invited you here and get their link. If they haven't given it to you, call them up and demand the link. This is too important not to get that link. Step 2, upgrade your future. GS Partners global platform accepted cryptocurrencies in exchange for any of the MetaVerse certificates of your choice on your GS Partners dashboard. 100% load your Meta certificate in the blockfolio of your choice and activate the payback programs. Step 3, build your business. Tell your friends. This is an optional step. Share your marketing link. Use a lucrative referral rewards program through GS Partners and start earning real-time commissions and fortnightly bonuses. Get back to the person who invited you to register your free account. This will only take you 2 or 3 minutes. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to turn it back over to Mr. Johnny Greene Jr.
Beautiful presentation as always, sir. I will say for the ones that are looking for the recording, if you weren't here early, we'll have the recording available for you. And at this point in time, we want everyone that is a